Hi guys, Speakman10227 here with my girlfriend Megan. Want to show you guys my new tank and how to properly acclimate fish. The fish we have today are 2 comet goldfish. This is the tank they were in. It's only 10 gallon. Yes, I know it's kind of small, but we got them when they were really tiny. They're now moving into a 20 gallon long, and from there, when they get a little bigger, they will be moving into a 55. Like I said, this is the tank they were in. It's a Tetra kit that we bought when we first got into the hobby. I highly recommend you don't buy this kit for several reasons. A, the hood only has a little slot right here for you to work in, and on the underside of the hood, it was incandescent lighting, which is a very bad thing. It heats your water up a lot. So fluorescent is what you want. You can't tell because they're too bright, but these are actually fluorescent bulbs that we put in as replacement. But this tank was just not much fun altogether. You can see the background's peeling off. The water hose just went, or the airline tubing just went crazy, and it was just overall too small for goldfish, and they outgrew it in just a few months actually. Plus it came with a Tetra whisper filter, which was part of the kit, and I highly recommend you don't get those. Those are crappy filters. I will make a video later on explaining why, and you guys can feel free to tune that in and check it out, and I'll explain my thoughts on filters. With that being said, here's where they're going. This is their new home. It's kind of dark over here in the corner. What we got going on in here plant-wise is anacris in the back, a little patch of anacris in the front, a little fluffy thing back here. I'm not exactly sure what it is. If you guys want to know, just ask me and I can look it up. Angel hair right here, melon sword over here, and more anacris in the back. The filtration on this tank is a Marine Land Penguin BioWheel 150. You can see up there, it's kind of dark. I'll make a video later on highlighting the filtration. And then I did move over their Tetra Whisper filter, which, like I said, is not the greatest, but we moved it over here because the filter media had bacteria in it. So it's not currently running at the moment. It's got to be primed and started up here when we get the fish in. Here is the main filter. It's for a 30 gallon. Like I said, it's got the BioWheel. I'll highlight it sometime when daylight's coming in. You can see it better. And it's got 2 things of filter media in it with activated carbon in it. So it's for a 30 gallon, and then we have the Tetra Whisper filter, which is for a 10. So we have filtration for a 40 gallon tank on our 20 gallon long to compensate for how dirty goldfish are. So with that being said, when they get a little bigger, they will be moving to a 55.
The filtration media will cycle a 20 gallon tank in approximately 12 minutes. So it's getting cycled, the whole tank is getting cycled every 12 minutes with the filtration we have on it. Yeah, we had to ramp up the filtration because we are keeping them in a little small home for goldfish. Like we said, we have 2 comets. They are combined about 5 inches worth of fish. So by the 1 inch per gallon rule, which I don't recommend you follow, but by that rule, they are good to go. But there's an overall shot of it. With that being said, here is how we are moving them over. And it's dark, you can't really see it. But what's going on, if I can get a better angle here, is you take a bucket. A lot of people do the bag method, where you just bag them, net them, bag them, float them in there, let them acclimate to the temperature. In time, dump a little extra water in there, and go that route. And that's a great idea, but I prefer this method. What you do is you take a piece of airline tubing, like we got here, and you start a siphon through it, and you tie a couple knots in it, like you can see here. And you put your fish in the bucket. You can't really see them. You'll have to tune into a later video. I'll make one showing after we release them. And you drip the bucket. Now the problem with this method is the temperature drops down rather quickly. So I recommend you put a thermometer in the bucket as well as a heater. You can't really see it down there, but there's an additional heater down in there.
and Megan was just holding up that hose right there. Hold that up again. There's about how quickly you want it to be dripping. About a drip every half of a second or so. You can drip slower if you want. Obviously slower is better so you don't shock your fish. But ours has actually been in the bucket getting acclimated for almost an hour now. So we sped up the dripping a little bit. Probably here within about 20 minutes they will be getting released into there. But once you get them in there, you can move them over here. A lot of people, if you have a fish with barbells or something like that, you do not want to do that with a net because their barbells can get caught in the net. But for our goldfish, it's just fine. Another good method to do it is just with a cup or something. But sometimes that can be kind of a pain to try to catch them that way. Anything additional?
Yeah, I want to show you a really neat clip of the snails. One of our snails is feeding on this tank here. And so that's really neat to be able to see
that's
kind of how his tongue works there, if you can see it. And that's actually how we started cycling the tank. This tank's been established for probably about a month and a half now. And we started it with 2 snails. There's our other snail. And so it was basically fishless cycling. We didn't want to put our goldfish over and cause them undue stress.
Yeah, a big problem with that is it does take a little bit longer, but if you want to avoid buying fish you don't necessarily want or stressing the fish you already have or something like that, snails is a great way to go about it. The only thing that's a downfall about them is you do have to leave a water line. You can see where there's a little bit of a water line on my tank. And can we lift this? And on the inside, you want to leave about an inch for them to crawl above. If you don't, they will crawl out of your tank. I've had them do that. They crawl out and fall out. And thankfully he didn't die, but he did crawl out. So that's a great way to start up a new tank. They do multiply. We have a baby rolling around in here somewhere. You can either just pitch them, or a lot of pet stores will take them back. So that's what's going on. I'll give you guys a update later on. Feel free to leave comments, ask questions, whatever you want to do. And I will give you guys an update when we get the fish in.